Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me from. I hope you find it in a space of goodness. I don't know about you, but if you ever had, I was just looking at the background of my video and it made me think, oh, I forgot to send something to my brother-in-law that I promised him over the weekend. So hopefully I will remember it when I get off of this live today. But welcome again. I am Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chat, where the entire focus is to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So before we get started, let me know where you're joining me in comments. I am here in Chicago. It is a chilly spring day, but it's kind of sunny, kind of overcast, kind of a little bit of everything. Excuse me. So let me know where you're joining me from. And before we get started, I do like to say a couple of things just so you know who I am and a little bit more about me. One is I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good, or bad. There are 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right for 7 billion people, nor what is wrong for 7 billion people. So I work on the majority of the time being kind, compassionate, peaceful, loving, positive. So my scale is 0 to 100, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody at 0 and I don't know anybody at 100. My daily practices for myself and people I work with is to be in the 80 to 100% of the time, the majority of the time. The majority is just 51% and above. So what does that mean? Fear, frustration, disappointment, anger, sorrow, all of those normal feelings visit me, but because of my daily practices, they visit and don't move in. Secondly, I'm a coach. I love supporting people in living their best life, whatever that best life looks like to them, to you. I am not a counselor nor am I a therapist, and sometimes to live our best life, getting that type of support is beneficial and can be crucial to living our best lives. So the tips that I tend to give here, I would say, are for the majority of people. Sometimes you're going to need more support than my tips. Sometimes you won't need my tips at all because they don't make sense or they don't resonate with you. And that is totally fine too. It's here as an invitation. It's here as an encouragement. It is never here to tell you what you have to do or what you should do. That's just not who I am. But I do encourage you to create the support system around you to live your best life. So that's whether that's hiring me as your coach, another coach, counselor, therapist, best friends, family members, clergy, whatever it is, create that support system around you to live your best life. So that's what we're going to cover every time I am here with you. And we're going to get into today's topic. And today's topic is about dealing with being discouraged as we move forward towards our goals. I believe it was Marie in the community who asked me to talk about that. It might be Maria, actually. I think it's Maria who asked me to talk about that here on one of the lives. So we're going to do that today. But before we get started, I want to go quickly into comments, say hello to everyone, see where you're from, because I love this community because it is from all around the world. Angeli, I hope I'm saying that right, from Holland. Welcome. California, Carrie is here. Oh, I'm glad that your daughter finally made it back home. Yay, Carrie, that's wonderful. Elsie from Canada. She's in British Columbia in Kelowna. I hope I said that right as well. Mary is here from Florida. Can you please, wait, Carol, can you please Facebook this week? I really need you as my life coach. I'm not quite sure, Carrie, what Facebook you want me to do here, but today we're going to be talking about being discouraged. So let me know if you have a specific topic you would like me to cover. Hello, Sarah from New Hampshire. So let's get started. And I will come back into comments if there are any specific questions or if you have comments on things you would like me to cover in the future. If I stay in comments right now, we will not get to the topic at hand and we'll be here all day. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to be here all day with me. So let's focus on what we're here to talk about today. So today's topic, again, is about dealing with discouragement. And I don't know about you, but when I create something that I'm looking forward to, even if it's a big thing that I really, really want, I can still get discouraged because either it's not showing up when I want it to, it's taking longer than I expected it to, or maybe some roadblocks have happened that I did not expect to happen. So it's easy to get discouraged, even if it's something that you want in your life. So it's really not about not ever being discouraged. I mean, I believe her question was how to avoid being discouraged. And I do think I'm actually going to use the word avoid one of these days for the topic, because really avoiding things is hiding from things, and we don't want to avoid it. You want to feel it and move through it and move forward through it. Sometimes you need to avoid it for a little bit because you're just not ready to look at it. You're not ready to deal with it, and that's okay too. But the more we avoid it, the more it's just kind of sitting there in the background, wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen and acknowledged. So when we're able to look at those things that we want to avoid with compassion, with a little gentleness and a little love, then we're able to move through it quicker. So first thing, before we even get into tips, is to reframe it from an avoidance to how can you focus more on being encouraged rather than discouraged. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about too today, is a little bit about being encouraged and how to deal with when discouragement comes up, because it probably will. It's kind of part of life. It's how much time, energy, and focus do you want to give it? When I talk about, people will ask me about anxiety or depression. I can help with people with situational depression and anxiety. But if it's something that is debilitating for you and it is creating a lot more, like if you're in the 60, 70, 80% in that category, you probably want to seek someone who has professional expertise to help those issues. It's not a right or wrong. It's not a good or bad if you're dealing with depression or dealing with anxiety. It's where you're at and how you want to go. So today we are dealing with not being discouraged and how to stay in encouragement. So I'm defining the word encourage, which is to inspire with courage, spirit, or hope. So when you think about being encouraged, you're hopeful, you're inspired, you're looking forward rather than looking back. Discouraged, we tend to be looking at what we don't want to happen or what we don't want that is happening right now, rather than looking with a lens of possibility, with a lens of hope and a lens of excitement. Again, not right or wrong. I want to make sure people are understanding if you're in a place right now in your life that you're discouraged or you're going through a really hard time in life. It's very normal and it's very common to experience that. It's how much energy, how much time, and how much focus do you want to give it? And we just take small steps to feel a little bit better. Some people can probably go from discouragement to joy. I don't think the majority of us can. So the majority of us, it takes the steps to get there. And discouraged may visit again, and that's okay too. It's again the time and energy that you want to spend there. So I like to work with affirmations in my coaching practice, and in my personal life, I use affirmations as well. Generally speaking, especially if you're new here, any of the tips that I give you here are either things that I use with my clients or myself. If I've found a new tip that I've not tried out, I will definitely tell you, I've heard this is a good tip, but I've not tried it out personally. So know that these are things that have worked for me and my clients. It does not mean they're going to work for you. So it's whether or not you just want to give them a try or not. But affirmations is simply a statement. It's not a right, wrong, good, or bad. It's just a statement. What the statement is makes it positive or negative. So if I say, I am very smart, I think all of you would agree that statement. I know you don't know me, so you don't know if I'm smart or not. But just this statement alone, I am very smart, is a positive statement. However, if I say I am very smart, and immediately in the back of my head, I'm saying to myself, no, you're not. And I can come up with 5 examples, or even if I can come up with just one example of something I've done that wasn't very smart. So my focus is on this not being true, then it's not a good affirmation for me. It may be a positive statement, but it's not positive for me. So I would either want to go into, I'm in the process of feeling smart, or I would change it into something completely different. But when you say your statement, you want it to be believable, or it can be a stretch from where you are, but it still needs to be believable. Because as soon as you say no to it, then you've negated the power of the affirmation. Affirmation is to replace those negative thoughts that we've had in the back of our heads from birth to today on things that have been said to us, maybe things we've said about ourselves. And sometimes people say other things about us that we take in as negative, but that wasn't their intent, nor was it their meaning behind it. So it's still however you perceive your outer world. People could be saying nice things to you, but if you're perceiving them as not nice, then guess what? For you, it's not nice. So it's to come up with affirmations that are going to help replace those negative thoughts that we're often acting upon and thinking about. So today's affirmation is things work out better for me than expected. Things work out for me better than expected. Now, I encourage you to all try it and say it. And if it's an immediate no, they don't. I have many examples of things not working out the way I want them to. Then go into I'm in the process of thinking things work out better than expected, or I'm looking forward to things working out better than expected. Again, it's to keep you in that hopeful space rather than the discouraged space. Things working out better than expected is an encouraging statement rather than things never work out for me, which would be discouraging. Not right or wrong, just where you are and where you want to be. So again, today's affirmation is things work out better for me than expected. Give that a try. I encourage you to come up with some affirmations that are for you in your voice and in your words. Like, use what I give you, but if it doesn't sound right, come up with your own. Write them down. I do my affirmations first thing in the morning before I get out of bed, and I do my affirmations when I go to bed too. I actually have them recorded, so sometimes I listen to them as I'm falling to sleep as well. So it's just something to keep you in that space of encouragement, that space of seeing the good in what you want rather than focusing on what you don't want. And when the don't want is right in front of you, it's super easy to give your attention, your time, your energy, and your focus to the don't want. It's not right or wrong. It's just what you're doing. So when you're wanting to feel a little bit better, we're going to just take small steps to feel a little bit better. So our tips for being in a space of encouragement and letting go of the discouragement. First of all, if you've been with me, and also let me know, please, if you're new to my work, because I always like welcoming in new people to our Positive Focus community too. First one is to be aware of how you feel. When you're aware of how you feel, you can adjust from there. When you're not aware and you're on autopilot, life is living you. You are not living life. And sometimes those hard feelings, we want to pretend aren't there. We want to ignore. We want to avoid them. But when we avoid things, they tend to just sit there. They're not going away. They're just waiting for us still. So you want to be aware of how you feel and take steps to feeling a little bit better. Again, awareness puts you in the driver's seat. When you're aware that you don't feel good, you probably have more than two choices, but the two that I'm thinking about is one, I don't feel good. I want to feel better. So I'm going to take steps to feel better. The second one is I don't feel good and I need to sit here with this for a while. I need to be angry for a while. I need to be frustrated for a while. I need to be discouraged for a while. All of those are natural and normal things that we feel. It's how much time, how much energy, and how much focus do you want to give them? Feel what you need to feel and then move forward. The second one is to manage your expectations on whatever it is that you're wanting to create in your life or grow or do that maybe you're feeling a little bit discouraged about. Sometimes we get into this big plan and we've got this big vision of everything we want to do, and we haven't discussed the steps to get us there. So it's easy to get discouraged because we're not seeing signs that we're moving forward. Or if you're like me, patience isn't your strong suit. So we tend to get discouraged because it's not showing up in time. So one of the things I would encourage you to think about is if you have a to-do list of 10 things that you need to get done today, and all 10 of them are doable, they're things that you truly can get done today if you set your mind to it, and you do 8 of them, or let's say you do 7 of them. Are you proud of yourself and happy and content that you've got 7 done? Or are you focused on the 3 you didn't get done? Again, you have plenty of time to do them for whatever reason. It's not a good or bad reason, but for whatever reason you did not do 3. Where is your focus? If your focus is on the 7, then you can keep that list bigger and that managed expectation is okay. If your focus is on the 3 and you're focused on what you didn't do, then the managing the expectation would be expect less and do more. One of the things I like to do with clients that I work with is I like to under-promise and over-deliver, whether it's a coaching client or whether it's somebody that I'm helping with their business on marketing or something like that. So it's under-promise, Like, here's what I can get done for you this week, and then over deliver. Because if I'm in a space, I tend to be one of those people who focus on the 3 that I didn't get done. So that's why I do the under promise, over deliver. I'm not stressed. I'm not anxious because I promised you 3 things. Now I can do those 3 things pretty easily because I probably could have promised 6. But if I promise 3 and then deliver 6, you feel better, I feel better, and there's no stress to it. If, again, you can do 7 and be good with doing 7 and not 10, do it that way too. It's knowing where you feel and knowing how you feel about it to move forward. So consider that, to do the under promise, over deliver, or be good if you can say, I'm going to do 10 things and end up doing 7. You might say you're going to do 10 things and end up doing 12. So it's not a right or wrong. It's just where you're at. The next one is, and this one's not an easy one either. Release the need for perfection. We can get stuck in this bubble of we want it to look this way. It needs to be this way. I can do this. I crack myself up sometimes when I'm working on a spreadsheet for something. It's like, okay, the font all has to be the same size, this color, and all this. And it's like, no, the numbers need to work out at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's just something I'm working on using for myself for a project I'm working on. But I tend to like it to look perfect too. So I spend time making it look perfect when in fact, I'm the only one going to see it. Nobody else needs to see it. I just need to know the numbers that the spreadsheet's for. So keep in mind, it does not have to be perfect, whatever it is you're working on. I would encourage you to look at it as doing your best. I just saw somebody, I don't remember what they said. Instead of having the best life, have a fantastic life. And they said it that way because sometimes when we're talking about the best, then we're putting expectations on ourselves on being the best at all the time, being perfect. My best self shows up differently every day. When I've had good sleep, when I'm feeling excited about something, my best is a higher level, percentage level, than when I'm not feeling well or I didn't have a good sleep. So my best some days may be the 51% on my given measurement. My best some days is 90%. So it's not being the best. It's the best fluctuates depending on where you are and how you feel too. But I do focus on being my best, showing up as who I want to be seen in this world and how I want the world to be. So that's my best that I work on. So come up with what that best looks like to you and know it's going to change depending on where you are, whether you're sick, whether you've had a bad day for other reasons, whether you're having a great day for other reasons. That's going to ebb and flow. But know that in this moment, even if I'm having a hard day, I'm giving it my best in this hard moment and focus on it from there. So that's the next one. An affirmation I like to use for that as well is I continue to do my best in each moment. I continue to do my best in each moment. Or I'm in the process of doing my best in each moment. Or change it completely. But I do like to use affirmations, especially when I'm shifting behavior into a new behavior. That just helps affirm what I'm moving forward to rather than keeping me stuck maybe where I am or where I'm afraid to go in the don't want kind of situation. Now, here's probably the hardest. It's certainly a hard one for me, is to stop comparing yourself to others. We're all on our own journey. Every one of us, even if you have an identical twin, there are still different experiences. Maybe the way your parents talked to you, you took it in differently than your twin took it in. So we're all completely different human beings. You may feel somebody is doing something much faster than you, and that person may feel somebody else is doing something much faster than them. So it's really about monitoring it for yourself. Compare yourself to where you've were. That's something that I definitely work on with clients when they call and they may be frustrated about something. I'm like, look back 6 months ago, this would have impacted you so much harder than it is today because of your daily practices. So release comparison, be gentle with yourself, because again, I still compare myself to other people and I catch myself doing it. And I step back into knowing I'm doing the best I can with what I have from where I'm at with the people that I have in my life. So comparison really wants to hold you back and make you feel less than other people. And it can also try to make you feel better when you're comparing yourself to having it better than other people. You don't know other people's journeys. So just stay within your own lane and focus on who you were yesterday to who you are today to who you're becoming tomorrow. Know your why. Why is it that it's important to you? Whatever that you might be discouraged on right now. Why is it important for you to not be discouraged? What is it in that goal? What is it in that experience? What is it in that job, relationship, or whatever that is important to you? When you're able to go back to the why this is important to you, you can step out of the discouragement a little easier and into being encouraged about it. So know why it's important to you to be able to shift when you're having those bad moments, when you're having those discouraged moments, when you're having those I want to quit moments. And quitting is different than giving up. So you can quit something, a goal that you have, because maybe you've shifted and you don't want that goal anymore. Giving up is when that goal, when you're afraid you can't get it, and when you're discouraged to get it, or you don't feel worthy of getting it, so you give up. Giving up, I encourage you not to do, but you absolutely can quit something if it's no longer of service to you. I've talked about my bucket list many times, and I'll go over it, I don't know, maybe once a month I look at it. And sometimes I take things off because I've experienced it. Sometimes I add new things that I found out about that I want to do. And sometimes I take things off of it because that's not important to me anymore. I don't need to experience this. So I just take it off. It's all good. Either way you do that. And then I really want to encourage you also to focus on what you are doing well. So right now you might be discouraged about something, and that's okay. It's normal. But think about the things you're doing well. I just had a friend yesterday, and she is the kindest, most loving animal lover in the world that I know. And she had messaged me that there's like a field or something behind her house, and she went out and picked up a lot of glass because she didn't want the animals to step on it. And her next statement was, I really should have done this a long time ago because it's been there for a while. Well, focus on what you do rather than focusing on what didn't get done. We can't change the time frame regardless. And I suspect most of you do a lot more than you give yourself credit for, because I don't know if it's natural, but I do think most of us focus on what we haven't done more than focusing on what we have done, especially if it's something that comes easy to you. When something comes easy to you, you don't even give yourself credit for doing it because it's easy. Why should I give myself credit? But know what's easy to you is hard to somebody else. And things that are hard for you are easy for somebody else. So give yourself credit for the things that you're doing well. Give yourself credit for the things you're trying. Give yourself credit for feeling your feels and moving forward. Give yourself credit when you have those days that you just don't want to do anything. That might be doing your best in that moment. It's just getting out of bed that day. Your best that day may be staying in bed and resting and relaxing. Only you will know what giving it your best is. So do that. And then gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Easy to step into gratitude when things are going well. A little more difficult when we're having a hard time, but it's still possible. When you're having that hard time, I personally use things that I take for granted. I don't have to ask my body to breathe. I don't have to ask my body for its heart to beat. It just does it naturally. I have a warm bed to sleep in at night. So I go to the things that I would normally take for granted and build from there. I've been having a gratitude practice for many, many years. So it's rare that I have to go down to that, but it's still part of my gratitude is those things because I'm grateful for them. So start thinking about the things that you can be grateful for in your life and create a gratitude practice. Maybe that's something you do first thing in the morning is list 3 things, 5 things, 10 things that you're grateful for in your life or grateful for in your that's coming up in the day. And then at the end of the day, list 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for about that day. 10 things if you can. But please do not think if you only can come up with 2 that day that you're wrong or bad or off. That's okay. Focus on what you are grateful for. Focus on what you're excited about. Focus on what brings you happiness and joy and allow that to be. But no sad, upset, anxiousness, depression, all of those things. They aren't bad. You aren't wrong for feeling them. It's just how much time and attention do you want to spend on them? And if you're spending a lot of time and attention on them, then it's probably a good idea to seek some professional support in helping you move through it a little bit easier. You can do it on your own possibly, but the more that you have that support system around you, just makes it a little easier. We are all a connected species, so the more that we have that support around us, the easier it is. And the last thing for the tip for the day is to be gentle with yourself. We tend to be our worst enemies. We may focus and talk about other people in our lives that are making our lives hard, or we think that they're mean, and they may be mean. I don't want to say that we just think it. You may have people in your life who are unkind to you. We tend to still be the most unkind to ourselves. So be gentle with yourself as you step forward in living your best life. So that's what I have for you today, is to stay encouraged on living your best life one step at a time. Be aware of how you feel, manage your expectations, know if you're somebody who can dream really big and get to that 7 or 8 and be okay, or if you need to pare it down to 3 or 4 things that you're doing to be able to manage that expectation. It's not a right or wrong. It's, again, who you are and how you want to show up for the day. Stop comparing yourself to others. I promise you, I still do, even though it's been a daily practice for many, many years. It's probably one of the hardest things for me to work on in my own daily practice. But I do catch myself much quicker than I used to. So I'm able to go into gratitude. I'm able to go into an affirmation that I might use for that type of situation. Know your why and focus on what you are doing well. Focus on gratitude and focus on being gentle with yourself. So that is my Embrace Your Life chat for today. Let me see if there's any questions or comments here. And I will be back tomorrow at 11:30 and Thursday at 11:30. I'm here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 11:30. Next week, I am traveling, but my intention is to still be here long as I have good enough Wi-Fi to do it. Jennifer, you are so welcome. Letting go of expectations of what I'm working on. Excellent, Susan. And it's a practice. That's why I call my work a daily practice. And when I fall off of my daily practices, which I do, I just step back into them. Sometimes I might be a little bit rough on myself, like, why did you do that? But being gentle with yourself is the easiest way to stay in that space. When you're beating yourself up over something you did or didn't do, you are feeding that energy. When you're gentle with yourself, you're feeding compassion, you're feeding love, you're feeding kindness. When you're hard on yourself, you're feeding fear, you're feeding blame and shame. So choose who you're feeding. Gloria from I'm so bad at some names. Moncton, New Brunswick, I believe. Welcome. Good to have you here, Gloria. First time. I'm so happy to have you here. All things I needed to hear this morning. Wonderful, Debbie. I'm so happy to have you here. If I did not comment on, sometimes I don't see the comment. So until later, I do come back in the afternoon and check as well. So I'm just noticing Carrie's from I think you guys are choosing hard cities for me to try to pronounce today. Altadena? I think I already mentioned. Oh, and let's see here. I am now lost myself. Hello, Tim. Good to have you here. Let's face it. These last 2 years have been very discouraging. You know what, Tim? I agree. And then there are other things that have been very encouraging as well about these last 2 years on the helpers who have come out. I know that I have found even more things that I appreciate when I find things that are taken away, then it's given me the opportunity to look at what I do want. And I know these last 2 years, which have been hard, I am so lucky. I have not lost anybody to what's gone on in the last 2 years. And many, many people have. But there are many things that I am appreciative of what these last 2 years have been as well. So it's what you want to choose to focus on, not negating the hardships, not negating the grieving and the loss, but to know that even in those hard times, hope is there. Helpers are there. Love, compassion, and kindness are there. So keep those in mind as well. Stacia, hello. Good to see you. Michelle, hello, Michelle. Sylvester from Nigeria is here. We're going to court with our 14-year-old son for not attending school. Kate, I'm sending you lots of love. I know that you wanted me to if you can remind me, it's been a few weeks ago because I did tell you that I don't really work with kids. I don't have children myself. I certainly am happy to add anything that I can to support you on your journey. But because I'm not a kids coach, nor do I have kids to draw from experience, I don't really necessarily know the best words to help you with that. But maybe there's even some other type of schooling that's going to be better for him. When we think about, we get into these boxes of how people are supposed to show up in life and be in life, and that just might not be the box he fits in. I do not know. I am not a therapist, nor am I a counselor, nor do I work with children. But I am sending you so much love, Kate, and please keep us posted on how that goes. Oh, thank you, Stacia, for my pillows. I did shift things around a little bit. I think I got them on Amazon. I see if I got anybody else. I think I have covered everyone. Sharon from Tennessee, welcome. Okay, I think I've covered everyone. And again, if I have not, I apologize. Sometimes I do not see the comments until I come back later to see if there's any questions. I love responding and coming up with topics from the community, like today's was from Maria's. So if you have a topic you would like me to cover, and I'm comfortable covering it, just like I mentioned to Kate earlier, I am not a child coach. I do not have children, so I'm happy to share. I love children, and I'm happy to share a positive, focused perspective about it. But because I don't have children, nor do I have the expertise of counseling or coaching children, I really hope people look for those sources to best work with those challenges through life. So Nepal is in that. I'm going to try to say your name too. Badur. Nepal is in the house. We have people from all over the world today. Wonderful. So I think I've covered everything. I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure yet what the topic will be, but it will be something on heightening celebrations and lessening sorrows through a positive focus. So go out there and have a wonderful day. I hope you join me tomorrow. And if these chats help you at all, please feel free to share them with your friends and bring more people into our community where we're here to embrace our lives, meaning the good parts of our lives, the hard parts of our lives, the scary parts of our lives, the exciting parts of our lives. We're here as a community to get through this beautiful and messy world together. So go out there and have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. And remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. So we'll talk soon. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, Chicago time. See you then. So long for now.